Well, good morning, everyone. It's Thomas Montgomery. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, November 10th, 2021. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, a minute or so before 8 o'clock Central. And I guess you could almost call this the third part in a three-part series. On Monday of this week, which would have been the 8th, we relaunched the 60-day credit sweep program. Yesterday, on the 9th, we announced the white label partner role for the 60-day credit sweep. To be a white label partner of the 60-day credit sweep program doesn't cost anything. It does provide the white label partner the ability to help clients with improving their credit. The white label partner controls the pricing and the terms, and it provides on average about $1,000 of income per client assisted. We talked yesterday that the 60-day credit sweep is a legal, effective, and proven program to help dramatically improve credit by addressing derogatory items. It can be of considerable use to individuals that are looking to improve their credit for many different reasons, to buy a home, to buy a car, to get lower interest rates, to qualify for business financing and such. It's a very simple proposition. And I think that's what we need to do more of as an organization, is to do things simply, because as we discussed, even for complicated situations, people typically want simple solutions. So our topic today is, I guess you'd say, part 3 of that sequence. Now that you're a white label partner on the 60-day credit sweep, let's get you onboarded. And so we've had a tremendous response, not quite 100 of you, but we're pushing 100 white label partners in our first 24 hours. So that's exciting. We get most of you processed. There's still a few more to go, and we'll continue that on an ongoing basis. So let's step back and talk about how to become a white label partner if you want to. And that would be going to the businessparalegal.com website, choosing the 60-day credit sweep, explains it, and then there's a simple form here. And you'd say, yeah, I'm interested in getting paid. Then what would happen, of course, you'd fill in the other forms. Then what would happen is we would send you an Adobe packet, and you could review that. And if you decided to become a white label partner, which there's no cost to enroll to be one, of the 60-day credit sweep, then you'd receive it, you'd complete that, and that's kind of where this conversation takes off. Now, I will tell you, when this page was originally set up, there was a glitch with this form. So up until, I think, 2 o'clock Central yesterday, from the time it went live until 2 o'clock yesterday, those leads were not processing. They just kind of went into the abyss. Didn't get into anyone's wrong hands, just it wasn't processing properly. So for instance, Jeremy, who's on the line, I think he submitted close to 80 people, some of which was before 2 o'clock. So again, Jeremy, I apologize, but we'll need to get resubmissions for anyone that submitted this prior to 2 o'clock Central yesterday. Sincerely apologize for that. Okay, but let's get back to the sequence. So the specific sequence is, if you want to become a white label partner of the 60-day credit sweep, you fill this out, right? And you can also just go to 60-day credit sweep and it forwards to this page. But so now we're beyond that. So if someone has decided they wanted to be a white label partner, they get the Adobe, they complete that. We're going to then onboard you. So this is an example of the onboarding email. So most of you, when you got up this morning, you should have checked your email and you should have found this email in your inbox. If you didn't, one of two things: it's either caught in a filter on your end, or you need to resubmit yourself over here and click the second box. So what we're going to do today is go through the onboarding for new white label partners of the 60-day credit sweep. All right, so it'll have, of course, your name, not my name, on it. and it's going to have a few headings, and we're going to walk through this carefully because it's important that the recipient, the new 60-day credit suite white label partner, follows through this diligently. So the part 1 training that I mentioned that was actually held on the 8th, Monday of this week, the YouTube link is here. That really introduced the relaunch of the 60-day credit suite program. However, the part 2 training, which was yesterday on November 9th, really talked about the role of the white label partner. So I would recommend watching these two and watching these two carefully, but in order. If anyone is a new white label partner, you received your onboarding email this morning, but you've not watched these, we need to really start with this. And that's why it's at the top of the onboarding page. Now, second is we need to edit your client agreement. So when we use the term white label partner, that means that the clients are going to contract with you. We have a contract with you, but you have a contract with the clients. That gives you the autonomy to go out and brand under your branding, your umbrella, and also to control the pricing. You can pick whatever pricing you want the clients to have, but you need to get the client agreement. So the client agreement, we provided you a template. So it's not a normal attachment, it's a link in our CRM. They call it snippets. I don't really understand why, but it's the second one here. So it's right above my signature. So when you receive this email, you're onboarding, if you scroll down, you're going to see 2 links, one of which is, or 2 snippets, one of which is the actual client agreement in Microsoft Word. So the point is here, you need to edit that. Now, we encourage you not to do wild edits, but of course, it needs to have your name, your entity, however you're contracting with them, and then the pricing that you prefer. I would encourage to not go through it and make a lot of other changes to the rest of the agreement, because that's what the attorneys have agreed. It's legal, it's compliant, it's what the processors need to be able to implement the client. But we can always discuss if you have questions or concerns about that. So what do you do first? Well, first, of course, you get signed up as a white label partner. What do you do second? Watch these trainings. If you haven't, maybe even if you were on the trainings before, maybe go back and view it one more time. What do you need to do next? You need to have your client agreement, which is linked over here. Because if you don't have a client agreement, then you can't have any clients. You need a client agreement before you have any clients. So with that, edit it with your contact information and pricing. Let's talk about pricing a little bit, because I had a number of conversations. We're talking about the highlighted yellow with many of you yesterday and late into the evening. It was a lot of great stimulating conversation. And the discussion was pricing. You know, what should you as a white label partner charge the client? And of course, we had a discussion on pricing yesterday, which is linked here. If you were to just ask us what's the best practice, now you can do whatever you want, so there's infinite options, but let's just narrow it down to what we believe is the best practice. That's what's here on the onboarding, and you can follow the best practice or not. Really didn't matter to me, it's up to you. What I would recommend doing is splitting the cost to the client. So they pay part of it now at enrollment for the document processing fee, and then the other part in 60 days. So I know it could be better for you for the client to fully pay up front, and you could give them that option, but I would lead with a split payment because it reduces the out-of-pocket to the client now. You're going to get a lower price point so you can get more people involved, and people just psychologically like, okay, I'll pay the other half after I see results. So here's what we would recommend your fee structure to be. But again, it's 100% up to you. If I were you, I would charge them a $6.99 document processing fee at enrollment. And if that's what you're going to do, you need to edit the client agreement to match that, of course. And you could have different fee structures and different agreements, of course. But simply put, I would have a $6.99 fee at enrollment. I do believe that the lower the price you get up front, the more people that will enroll, but we also need to be considerate of you making some money up front for your time and effort. And then we need at least $4.99 to pay the paralegals to do the document prep. So, I mean, if we didn't have any cost, it'd be real simple to say, well, there's no upfront cost, just pay everything in 60 days. But that economically doesn't work because people want to get paid, right? So I would recommend $6.99 at enrollment. You could certainly drop that down to $5.99 if you felt that that would be even better. Wouldn't go any lower than $4.99 because we know that's the portion that we need to collect upfront from you that you've collected from the client to pay the document processing team. And then I would, so number one, a document processing fee up front of $6.99, and then secondly, a second payment due in 60 days. Now, what would that second payment be? You can be really creative there. You could either have a flat fee due, which would be maybe another $500, another $600, whatever you want to set that as. I would maybe just simple, I'd make it simple and maybe make it the same amount as the upfront. So they're paying half now and half in 60 days. And we'll talk about how they can raise money to pay that if needed in a second. Or if you didn't want to have a flat fee, this is an or, you could do a performance fee. And I see a lot of clients really like a performance fee. So they're saying, okay, April, you're asking me to pay $6.99 now. That's doable. And then after I see the results in 60 days, then I'm going to pay what? And I would, if you wanted to do a performance fee, what we've seen work really well is $10 per point of credit score improvement. Now we base that off of just one bureau. Otherwise they'd be paying 3 times if they were paying points off of all 3 bureaus. Since we do soft credit pulls off of Experian, you'll see that the sample agreement is based off of that. So are there any questions that any of you that are new white label partners have on pricing methodology for the white label 60-day credit sweep before I move on? Anyone have any questions on that? If so, just type it into the Q&A. Okay, so I'll move on and we can come back if questions come up. But again, it's up to you how you want to price it. We know that our cost to pay the paralegals is $8.99, but we can split that up if that'll make your life better. So if you're splitting up the client's payment arrangements, we're more than willing to match that for you and split our payment as long as there's at least $4.99 at submission, because we care about you and we care about the clients, but we can't be in the business of subsidizing the clients where we're paying more in labor for the paralegals work than the money that's coming in. We can break even, but it just doesn't make sense for us to lose money on every deal up front. All right, and then secondly, there is a marketing flyer. We've reviewed it before. It was reviewed back on part 1. And it's automatically attached as a second snippet. Now, this was developed in Adobe, so you can edit it with Adobe. It's not Word or Excel or PowerPoint. It's an Adobe file, but with Adobe, you can edit it. You could change, I guess, anything you want, but it'd be easy to change with your contact information and any other content references you want to make. Okay, so we said that once you get signed up as a white label partner for the 60-day credit sweep, you want to first watch those trainings. We've covered that. We need to edit the client agreement. We've talked about best pricing for how you set that up. And you've got the editable template that you receive automatically with this email. Next, we are setting up a designated Dropbox for each of our 60-day credit sweep white label partners. So what you can infer from that is we will not need a separate Dropbox for every one of your clients. Instead, we will have one Dropbox for you. the 60-day credit sweep white label partner. And then that's where all of your client files will go to, so you can access it and we can access it. So the client wouldn't need to access this, because all that's really going to go into your Dropbox for each client are 3 items. You're going to upload their agreement that they've signed. Secondly, you're going to upload their driver's license, which is here, which is their proof of identity, and you're going to update a recent proof of address. Typically, that's a utility bill, could be a bank statement, ideally less than 30 days old. So in other words, it's recent, and it should, of course, match their name and their address. That's what we need to have for the bureaus. So you'll upload 3 things for each client: their agreement, their driver's license, and a recent proof of address to the Dropbox. So once you've done that, then we can invoice you. You can make payment. You can either pay the full amount, or if we're doing split billing, which is fine, you do the $4.99. And then once that payment comes in, then of course we would process that file. And so literally at that point, there's nothing else that you need to do during the client experience. During that 60-day cycle, there's not work for you to do. And so you can see that this is a much simpler role. Being a white label partner of Access to Capital is great. And frankly, you can make a lot more money doing that, but it's much more complicated. There's a lot more involved. There's financial literacy, and there's loan packages, and there's all those moving parts. And so for those of you that are willing to, I encourage you to be a white label partner on Access to Capital as well. But this is in stark contrast to that. This is simple. So once you've got the items uploaded into Dropbox, you're good to go. You might say, well, what do I need to service the client during the 60-day cycle? Nothing really. You just need to let the client know it's going to be a 60-day process. And if you have questions, you can let us know and we'll respond, so you can let the clients know. But it's not one of those, it's not credit repair. It's not disputes where they're going to get a bunch of correspondence that they have to turn around and forward to you, and you have to forward to us. This is not credit repair. This is a paralegal document processing service. Okay, so if there's questions on the Dropbox, let me know. But just so you know, so from the time that you tell us that you want to be a white label partner on the 60-day credit sweep, we'll send you the Adobe. Once you sign the Adobe, within 24 hours, we should execute that Adobe. You should get this email, and you'll also just momentarily afterwards receive the link to the Dropbox. If you don't see any of those, chances are it got caught in a filter. Could be that we screwed up, but most likely got caught in a filter. So you would look for the executed Adobe, the onboarding email that we're looking at a sample of right now, and then also a Dropbox invitation. Those 3 things. Support. We want to do an excellent, superior, outstanding job of supporting our white label partners in the 60-day credit sweep program. So obviously we do these daily Zooms. We're on one right now. Many of you are live, and of course others are listening to this in recording, where we do these most weekdays right around 8 o'clock Central. We'll continue to do that. So that's going to continue. So that's what, over 200 support webinars per year. And then we're going to try a different model of one-on-one. So while Calendly is what we need to use for clients, for our white label partners, we need to be more accessible. So here's what we're going to do, is that if you're a white label partner and you have a question, comment, or concern, send a quick text, let us know. And then as soon as a segment of our schedule frees up, then we're going to reach out and call you, ideally the same day, most ideally within moments. But if we're on a call at the moment, we can see that you're in the queue and we need to reach out to you. So we want to be very accessible. We want you to be successful, because if you're successful as a 60-day credit sweep white label partner, that means that we're helping at least 10 clients a month improve their credit, improve their credibility, improve their fundability, so they can get access to capital and qualify for homes, cars, or whatever they want to use their better credit for. So we do have a goal, a clear, explicit goal. And we talked about this on yesterday's training, of helping at least 10 clients a month. On tomorrow's topic, I guess, which would be part 4 in this sequence, we're going to talk about some best practices of client development. Because I promise you, it is not difficult to find clients for the 60-day credit sweep. I don't think it is for the access to capital either, but this is like giving away water in the desert. It is so important. We can help people restore their dignity. We can help people restore their access to capital to, again, buy homes, buy cars, start, grow businesses. It's great. There's many ways to simply get clients for this. We'll start talking about that tomorrow. Today, we just want to cover this onboarding email and support you in that regard. So as it says, we want to help you enroll at least 10 clients in your white label 60-day credit sweep per month. This will create an adult income for you, and it keeps us on the same page. That's what we've agreed to do. All right, so I'm going to scroll to the top. What I want to do now is answer questions. If you're one of our new white label partners and you've got questions about what you see here, great, fire away. If you're not a 60-day credit sweep white label partner, you're thinking about it, but there's something that's keeping you from getting started. There's something that doesn't add up, something that's not clear, something that doesn't feel right. Now is a great time to address it. If you have questions or comments outside of the scope of this conversation, not a good time to ask it, because it would confuse others when they listen to the recordings. All right, so who has any questions, comments, concerns about how you become a white label partner for the 60-day credit sweep, and or, which is done here, businessparalegal.com, choose the 60-day credit sweep. All right, the Pajama Mama, good to see you, Elon. Her question is, if she doesn't want to be a white label partner, all she wants to do is refer in, how does she do that? Great question. We covered it on prior trainings, but we'll cover it. We covered it back here, and I just made that go away, sorry, but we'll cover it again now. So this is the form that you would submit clients on if you're not a white label partner. So you'd put in the client's name, their email, you'd let us know what their area of interest is, one or both of these, their phone number, your information, because you're the referral source, and submit. You wouldn't use this form, Pajama, if you are a white label partner, because instead you're uploading documents into the Dropbox. You're actually collecting the payment. So it's two very different tracks. If you're a white label partner, you're contracting with the client, you're collecting the payment. If you're acting just as an affiliate, which is fine, you can make a nice simple $100 for just putting in the client's information, and if they sign up, then you're paid, and that's referenced over here on the referral program. You don't have to be a white label partner. You don't have to even be signed up. We just pay out a $100 referral per conversion by doing this. So that's a great point of distinction. All right, Ontario is asking, well, what if the client doesn't have the $499? And that's a good point. Some people, frankly, need money repair more than they need credit repair. And I know what we're doing, it's not credit repair, but just using that as an example. So if you have someone that has an interest and or a need for the 60-day credit sweep, but when you present them pricing, they can't afford it, then there's a few things you can do, but relevant to this conversation, it's real simple. You would just simply let them know, no worries. Then you would say, meaning you, I've got a great referral program. If you can help me find others that are interested in the 60-day credit sweep, I will pay you $100 for each one that you refer over that enrolls and completes the sweep program. And so all of a sudden now you can be a revenue source for your clients who do not have enough money to pay you to enroll. Now, granted, at $100 a pop, if they need to come up with the $4.99, they need to, or I guess it'd be $6.99 down here, they'd need to refer you 7 clients, but that's pretty good. Because, you know, on average, and we covered this in yesterday's training, but we know on average, you're going to generate around $1,000 per white label client. And so if you gave up $100 to make $1,000, that means you're netting $900. As we'll talk about tomorrow, we strongly encourage you find as many people as possible that can refer to you, and you pay out as many $100 increments as possible, because for every 100 you spend, you make 900 in profit. That's a very good investment, right? And it's not an upfront cost. It's only if you earn the 1,000, would you pay out the 100? So if people are just essentially needing money repair more than anything else, you can be a nice source of side gig income for them. And I can tell you, we're in a period of rapid inflation. Things are getting so much more expensive. They say Thanksgiving is going to cost maybe twice as much this year to prepare the same meal as last year. The cost of gas is going up, the cost of automobiles, housing's growing at a double-digit pace. There's a lot of people that need additional income that you can be the resource for. So you can help people that want to improve their credit, which is the core topic here, but you also can help people fix their money problems. Now, you'd say, well, $100, that's not much, but you have to think about alternatives, right? So you can go get a job at an Amazon warehouse or at a Target or wherever, and maybe you make 20, 22 bucks an hour. Here, all they're doing is sending you a lead and making $100. So it's certainly less than an hour's worth of time. So you could normalize it, because the average worker thinks about making money in an hourly fashion. You and I don't think about it in an hourly fashion, right? Because the type of income you and I make doesn't even make sense if you break it down per hour. But take the average person and say, hey, you can make an extra 50 to 100 bucks an hour by just simply referring clients to me, no selling involved. Would you be interested in that as a side gig income? Well, $50 to $100 an hour, which means that they would generate 1 client every 1 to 2 hours, is a hell of a lot better than they're going to make at the Amazon distribution center, drive and Lyft, deliver and DoorDash, or what have you. So that's a very reasonable offer. If people stiff their nose at 100, because essentially you're paying out 10% of your take, which is a very generous commission, then ask them, what else can you go do to make $100 in less than an hour, legally and ethically? Okay, so let's wrap this up, and then we'll get back tomorrow for part 4, and we'll talk about lead generation. Most of you have no concerns about leads, because many of you have been marketing the access to capital and finding a number of clients that do not have enough credibility for cash funding. That's your low-hanging fruit. Again, we've got Jeremy on the line, and he had over 50, I think it was almost 80 submissions for the 60-day credit sweep already. And most of those were already in his Rolodex, right? His on his contact list, people that didn't get cash funding from access to capital. So again, if you want to become a white label partner, you do that. You go to businessparalegal.com, choose the 60-day credit sweep. This is also where you would submit clients if you're not a white label partner to make your simple $100. If you do click this, we'll send an Adobe, you receive it, you complete it, didn't cost you anything to enroll to be a white label partner. Then you'll get onboarded, you'll receive an email that looks just like this. You'll also receive a Dropbox link, and that's where we're going to start putting clients. You need to follow these steps. You need to watch the training. You need to edit your client agreement, which is attached to this. You need to, I guess, know where your designated Dropbox is, know how to access support, and then we need to work together to enroll at least 10 clients per month. Super simple. Any other questions anyone has before we break for today? All right. Thanks, everyone. Part 4 tomorrow. Have a good day. See you soon. Make it count. Bye.